At my wedding reception, I watched my new mother-in-law slip something into my champagne when nobody was looking. She thought I'd drink it. I swapped our glasses. Then she stood up to toast us with my groom glass in her hand. I'd known Diane for a little over 2 years, and she'd hated me for the last 6 months of it. The day I proposed, her smile froze on the phone. That's sudden. Megan's voice went tight. Mom, we've been together almost 2 years. Diane didn't yell. She never had to. She used that calm teacher tone that said, you were already guilty. After that, every helpful moment had teeth. She sent our invites to the printer with the wrong date. She accidentally told the bridesmaids the fitting was canceled. She called the caterer and tried to switch the menu to shellfish, even though Megan was allergic. Oh my goodness, she'd say, hand to chest. I must have misheard. Sir, on the wedding morning, she cornered the coordinator and tried to reshuffle the seating chart like she owned the place. I don't care what my daughter said, she snapped. Fix it. My best man, Jake, leaned in and whispered, she's trying to run a coup at your wedding. I laughed like it was nothing. My stomach didn't. During the reception, I walked toward the bar to grab my drink, and the mirror behind it caught a perfect little crime. Diane was there in a cream dress, clutch tucked under her arm. She looked left, looked right. Then she pulled a tiny vial from her purse and tipped 3 quick drops into the flute with the gold card that said, groom. My heart went loud. The bartender was turned away. The room was chaos. Nobody saw it but me. I walked up like I was just thirsty. Diane's own glass sat beside mine with her name card. Same flutes, same bubbles, different futures. I slid my fingers around the stems and switched them. Clean glass for me, poison glass for her. Then I carried my drink back to the head table and smiled until my cheeks hurt. 5 minutes later, the speeches started. Jake gave his joke-filled best man routine. People laughed. Megan squeezed my hand. Then Diane rose with that sweet, practiced warmth and lifted the wrong glass. I want to welcome my new son-in-law, she said, voice smooth as honey. Marriage takes trust. She looked right at me on that last word. To the happy couple, everyone raised their glasses. I barely touched mine to my lips. Diane took a long sip and sat down like she'd just won. Nothing happened at first. Then her eyes blinked a little too slow. Then she rubbed her forehead like the room tilted. Next, her hand reached for her water and missed. After that, she tried to stand and her knees folded. Then she grabbed the table edge, mouth open, no sound coming out. One more blink, and her gaze went glassy. Finally, she slid down into her chair like the strings had been cut. Megan gasped. Mom? Diane tried to speak. It came out as a slur. Tom, Megan's dad, caught her shoulder, shouting for help. Someone screamed for 911. The room went dead quiet and then exploded into panic. Paramedics arrived fast. One of them looked at the vial after I pulled it from Diane's clutch. This is a strong sedative, he said. Too much can slow breathing. Megan spun toward me, shaking. Why would she? Because she didn't want you marrying me, I said. I saw her do it. The police showed up right behind them. Officer Ruiz took my statement while Diane was loaded onto a stretcher. If she dies, he said flatly, this turns into a homicide investigation. My stomach dropped. The next day, the venue's camera made it simple. Diane at the bar, the vial, the drops, me switching the glasses, clear as day. She tried to deny it at the hospital until Ruiz mentioned the footage. Then she switched stories. I was protecting my daughter, she whispered. No, she was controlling her. Diane took a deal a few months later and got 2 years in county jail. Megan didn't go to sentencing. Her dad filed for divorce. I sat in the back while the judge said what everyone was thinking. This wasn't love, it was a crime. 18 months after that, Megan got a letter from Diane. 3 pages. Apologies, therapy, a request for coffee. She read it once and put it in a drawer. Would you be okay if I met her? She asked. It's your call, I said. Always. We built a life anyway. Quiet, normal, safe. And when Megan was ready to laugh again, she leaned into my shoulder and muttered, she really should have checked which glass was which. I smiled, because sometimes the best revenge isn't complicated. Sometimes it's just letting someone drink their own poison.